welcome to another episode. And today I have Lori Murphy with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited about your story and about great things that you have to share with the audience. If you could please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am originally from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have 3 children. So my daughter is 33, my son is 30, and my youngest son is 26. So they're all over. My daughter's still in Ohio. My middle son is here in Florida, does real estate as well. And then my youngest son is in the Navy. So he's in Washington State in the Navy. A little bit about me, I guess, as far as how I got to where I am today.
Yes.
Is I was actually in the beauty industry for 30 years. So most of my career. Right out of high school, went to beauty school, got my cosmetology license. And then Aveda actually had a distributorship where I'm from. So Aveda is a brand that, they're a high-end brand. Have you heard of Aveda?
Actually, yes, I heard
Yeah,
about
so
it.
they do, hair, skin, makeup, body care, all of that. And then they also have salons. So I actually started with them early off in my career and did many different facets with them. And then actually that's what brought me to Florida. So I moved to Florida to be the assistant director at the Aveda Institute in Davie. Is what brought me to Florida. Yes. So I was there and I had about 300 students, about 12, employees as far as staff and everything.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, the students range from 18 up. So, it could be challenging days dealing with that many, hormones under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. I loved it. I loved what I did. And then from there, I actually went into the more on the salon side. So I actually built salons. So we would open new Aveda salons and I would train them. And so basically anything that had to do with beauty, I have done other than owning my own salon. That's the only thing I did not do. And then during COVID, the salon shut down, as you know.
Yeah.
And so it impacted the business a lot. And then after the PPP ran out, there was conversations that were had with some of the employees, and I was actually offered a package if I wanted to step away. So at that time, my husband, he owned half of a real estate brokerage and then owned a title company. And he's like, if you want to come and help out or, just something to do, you can. And I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. So I actually started working with the title business. And from there, I first got my notary, obviously.
Okay.
And then I got my real estate license and I got my title license. And then now I have my broker license. So
great.
All of that happened within like a 3-year period. And here I am today.
And that was a huge switch from
huge
beauty. And how does that make you feel, like switching for 20 plus years?
Yeah.
Being in the beauty.
I mean, it was scary. When I first lost, my position with Aveda, it was a huge hit to myself. I mean, that was my identity. That was all I knew, ever since I worked a job. My very first job at 15 years old was in a salon, so it was my identity. It was who I was. So I had to really step back and be, okay, now what, And so what I did is I stopped to think about, what did I love about it? What were the things that I loved about that industry? And it always went back to making people happy, helping people to achieve, a feeling that maybe they couldn't get on their own. And if you think about it with real estate, it's very similar.
Yes.
Because
definitely.
It's probably one of the largest purchases they'll ever make. And being there to help see them through that, especially at the closing table when they're signing and all is happy and taking pictures, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, so it didn't really took you that much time to get used to the new career.
Not at all. No, yeah. I mean, learning, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, business is business.
Yeah.
It's just the different intricacies depending on what it is that you're working with. So.
Yeah, no, of course. And what was that one thing that made you jump out of the chair and say, this is my calling? This is what what is one thing in your life that you can say, okay, this is my purpose? Because I believe when you find that out, it's powerful.
Yeah. And it's helping people. It's that satisfaction of seeing, so behind the chair, when you turn them around and they see their face, there's just that instant of you're like, yes. And at the closing table, or it's the same thing as when they sign it and they look at you and it's like, thank you. I mean, it's helping people to achieve something that they didn't know they could, and that's what keeps me going. That's my passion.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so, and what do you believe? What is your calling in business and life, and why?
Mm. I don't think I fully have achieved that yet, just so you know. I'm still on the path.
And you are very successful. I think we are all in different phases, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm in a good place, but I'm not where I want to be yet. And I think that I love that question because it helps me to really, define what it is that I want. What is that calling? And I think that there's a bigger purpose. So I don't think I've reached it yet. I do believe that, it's definitely going to be in the realm of real estate, because I do have, the broker license, so I can, do the buyers, sellers, all of that. But with the title and understanding all of the back side of how it works, I think I think that's a true asset in this industry because of understanding what all goes into from contract to close. There's a lot.
Yes. There's a lot of behind the scenes steps that you definitely have to take for sure.
Yeah. And I would like to be able to teach that back. I think because when I was in the beauty industry, a big part of it was being an educator, and training and developing. And so I think that a piece that I want to add into where I'm at now is more of development, personal development for others, and, coaching, as that word is used so much now. But along those lines is giving back and helping people. Yeah,
and you have an amazing background, leading over 300 people. Yeah. And I believe that there's so much that people can learn from you. And yes, and that is interesting how do you deal with all kinds of personalities, especially those people that are watching that they have different positions in business. That what is one advice that you can give those people that are in high position, and what is the key for you to be dealing with different personalities and how you handle it?
I think that, that goes back to where I started, is understanding every level of the position. So then you have respect for every level of the position.
I love that. Yes. Respect.
Because you do. Yeah. You have to be able to respect everything what everyone has done. In a salon, I've swept hair. I've been an assistant. I've also, been top dog. So it's very important to understand different levels of the job. In real estate, there's many, many different hands that come in to make it, to make it work. And I think that it's just important to have that respect at every level of what everyone's doing. Another thing is knowing your audience when you walk in the room. And just being authentic, being who you are, being truly who you are, authentic, it doesn't matter who's in the room,
Yeah.
But just maybe you have to change that communication and what you're talking about based on who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's great. So we learned that communication, respect, and know your audience. Yes. So there you go, several great tips. And I believe that if you apply that, it's definitely great help for you to continue to grow and be successful in whatever field we are. I believe that respect is a huge thing that we all need to apply. And another question that I have for you is that if you can share with the audience, what is one thing, one big trial and teaching that you got out of that trial? It could be in business or personal. If you can share any trial that you may have in your life, and what do you learn from it?
I think knowing your message, knowing who you are is very important. And as I was going through learning my message and what I want my message to be, the one thing that kept going back to was, as a child, is not feeling heard, not feeling seen, kind of being lost in, everything. I have an older brother who I love dearly, but he was the football star, so all of the audience and everything was on him, and which was great, but you know, you're
And
like,
they don't know
hello.
that about you. There you go. Wow.
Yeah. But that's one thing that I've always sought for, is to be seen and to be heard, and seeking approval. And I think one of the biggest eye openers that I've ever, I mean, it was just amazing, is I don't need anyone's approval other than God. And
I love it. You don't need anybody's approval
No.
other than God.
Other than God.
Wow.
And I live my life for that every single day. And the joy and the comfort and the peace that it brings you in knowing that, you can achieve anything. And so one thing in my message that I always try to deliver, and I may not say it, but I want everyone to feel heard. I want everyone to feel seen. And I will give you, you know, the time for your approval, but you don't need me. You only need God. And
that is so wonderful. And everything connects.
Yes.
Because know your audience.
Yes.
Communication, respect.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going back to, you don't need nobody's approval, but God's approval. That's wonderful.
I love him.
Yeah, yes, me too. Yeah, I'm a great believer and respecting everybody believe, but I believe that with him, everything is possible.
On his timing.
Not our time.
On his timing.
Yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And to close the interview, what is one thing that you would like to share with any person that is trying to start a new project, a new business? What is one thing that you would share with them for them to be successful?
I would say find someone who's doing it now successfully. Make them your friend, make them your mentor, and don't try to reinvent the wheel. If it's already been done and it's already been done correctly, latch onto that, follow them, do everything that, you know, I mean, learn everything. But I mean, first and foremost, you need to invest in yourself. You know, if that means paying for a coach, if that means, you know, going to an event where someone's going to be who's doing what you want to do, and you have to put up some money for it, you know, in order to get somewhere, you have to sacrifice a little bit. And I think that the biggest thing that I would say is find that person who's already doing it well and be their best friend.
Yeah, that's true. Well, great advice. And for me, education is huge.
Yes.
So yeah, train yourself, educate yourself so you can be the best at it. And that's the way to do it. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It's been wonderful listening a little bit about your story. And I would love everyone, your comments and any question you may have to her. If you would like to share your information, your phone number, and when they can find you as well.
Absolutely. So I still have an Ohio phone number, but it's 513-833-7686. But you can find me via social media at L Pfeiffer, or it's Lori Pfeiffer Murphy. Pfeiffer is my maiden name. But or just contact Isabel, and I would love to, you know, I'd love to chat more.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.